y'all, grab a seat and hold on tight because this Diddy drama just blew Hollywood wide open, and baby, it's getting ugly. So, week 3 of the Diddy trial is in full swing, and the feds, they are not holding back anymore. They've started revealing the names of A-list celebs who didn't just party with Diddy, they allegedly helped him cover up his twisted crimes. Like, we're talking church leaders.
Ben Affleck actually recently walked away from J-Lo because these allegations were coming out.
And isn't there even some concern that, or proof that Pastor T.D. Jakes?
Well, I'm getting right there. So there's this big list that Diddy said, I'm not going down alone. Because Cat Williams went on a podcast a while back, and Cat Williams, who's a well-known comedian in the black community for a long time, he went on a podcast and basically just regurgitated all this information that was just so valid. And he said, all these people, he said, you got God on one side, and then you got the other side. And he said, the other side, they're all going down in 2024. And he mentioned that he was offered $50 million 4 separate times to join in with these Diddy parties to basically be sodomized. And he turned it down every time.
To help his career.
To help his career, to bring his career to the next level.
You're on a raft.
Yes.
In the middle of the ocean.
Right.
You look in the water.
That would give me so much anxiety. Go ahead.
Oh, this is about to give you more
okay.
anxiety. You look in the ocean, you see 2 people floating.
Oh,
you can only pull up one because that's how much room you have on your raft. You look in the ocean, you see Ben Affleck, and you see Diddy. That's it! J to the L, give me 5.
Billionaires, music royalty, and even freaking Hollywood legend. The names? You better sit down. T.D. Jakes, Ben Affleck, Usher, Robert Downey, Jr. What? And it doesn't stop there. The person who allegedly snitched and caused Diddy's entire house of cards to collapse, they've been
like President Clinton, President Obama, President Trump. I think these are 3 American presidents who really, really, really wish they had no connection to Diddy. But they all do. They all know him, appeared with him, partied with him. Clinton, Obama, Trump, and they're not the only famous people who partied and hung out with Diddy. Apparently there's like at least, 100 plus who are going to be named in his trial. Famous shiny stars. We named some of them last night. We got a new one tonight, Iron Man. But we don't yet know what the connection is. Like, how are all these famous faces and names going to be connected to P. Diddy in his traffic trial? It's the kind of thing they're all freaking out about, right? And there are many unnamed yet. We're just finding out about them in jury selection. But I'll tell you what, the internet is freaking out and making its connections. Which shiny star had what connection to Diddy, and how could that end up in the case?
Yeah, there you go. Y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
Since we applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
T-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing.
The candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities, and with no explanation why, at least not yet. The parlor games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy and the charges. Just today, the name Robert Downey Jr. came up in court. Robert Downey, the actor, and Diddy apparently do know each other and have been seen together in public. But Robert Downey Jr. reportedly never attended Diddy's parties. So if he does figure into this trial somehow, it's going to be a lot of news to a lot of us. Mike Myers, another favorite Canadian, favorite actor, favorite comedian. He is on the jury question list as well. And that too is a tongue-wagging mystery. Unless it's about the quick jab at Diddy, that he took in the Austin Powers movie? I don't know. Doesn't seem likely. Rolling Stone magazine reports that actor Michael B. Jordan made the list because Diddy once threatened him for dating Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Same goes for the rapper Kid Cudi. USA Today says that Cassie's lawsuit claimed that Diddy threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car.
Been named too. Now, here's where things get absolutely bonkers. The real list of Diddy's inner circle reads like a blackmail file from hell. U.S. presidents, the British royal family, CEOs of mega labels, the most powerful people in the world. And guess what? This ain't the first time they've all been caught up in shady friendships. Y'all remember?
That's why people get on my nerves talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters. I walk in prison ministries. I deal with murders. I deal with and kids because they're our children, our sons, and our daughters.
As a shock to many in the religious community, Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
This is a beautiful moment for me.
From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House.
Remember Epstein? Same names, I mean. How many times do these men gotta show up in pedo scandals before people stop saying it's a coincidence? One of the biggest names trying to distance himself now is none other than T.D. Jakes. Yes, the Dallas bishop himself. The man just stepped down from his role at the Potter's House megachurch right after word broke that Diddy allegedly got a plea deal.
Watch as Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings responds.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, T.D. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Good, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
T.D. Jakes, do not speak against homosexuality?
World-renowned Dallas pastor T.D. Jakes is named in a federal lawsuit against musician Sean Diddy Combs.
It's filed by a producer that worked with Combs. It discusses how the singer planned to leverage his relationship with the bishop to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. Ventura is a former girlfriend of Combs who filed her own lawsuit in November alleging abuse, violence, and sex trafficking.
Could this federal investigation have come out of these private lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. If it involves sex trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior.
Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
They've decided this is worth a lot of resources across the country. So once they've done these searches, they have evidence to follow up on. And if they've got it, they'll move on it.
Start snitching. Timing. Now TD is scrambling, giving excuses about why he was always showing up at Diddy's parties. But come on, the internet's not buying it. We all see the pattern. And Cat Williams, he called it. A whole year ago, Cat straight up exposed T.D. Jakes as a hypocrite. He even predicted Jakes would go down with Diddy. And now, that prophecy...
Dawn Richards says she wasn't alone in witnessing Sean Diddy Combs' abuse. During her second day of testimony in the music mogul's federal trial, the 41-year-old described an alleged 2010 incident of Combs punching then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura at a West Hollywood, California restaurant and said Usher was also a witness to the event. During her testimony May 19th per NBC News, which had a reporter in the courtroom, she said, quote, Mr. Combs punched Cassie in the stomach. They were having a private conversation and then he punched her in the stomach. She immediately leaned over and left. In addition to Usher, Richard, who was a member of the girl group Danity Kane, which was formed on Combs' show Making the Band in 2004, alleged that other musicians, including singer Neo, record exec Jimmy Iovine, and rapper Big Daddy Kane were present as well. When Richard and Ventura got into a car to leave after the alleged restaurant incident, Richard said another physical altercation took place between Combs, who has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his then-girlfriend. She continues in her testimony, quote, "We got in the car to head back to her house. Combs grabbed her, slapped her, popped her in the mouth, and told her to shut the f*** up. Everyone was quiet.
And he is practically writing itself. Turns out, TD was first named in Little Rod's lawsuit, where it was claimed that he used his so-called religious status to polish Diddy's image and, get this, allegedly helped him access new victims. If that doesn't make your skin crawl, I don't know what will. And then there's Usher. Oh honey, not Usher. Cassie spilled in court last week that Usher witnessed Diddy physically assault her multiple times. And what did he do? Covered it up. Even Don Richard, who was in Danity Kane, testified that Usher saw Diddy.
Justin Bieber breaking his silence on the ordeal after months of speculation over their one-time relationship. His rep telling ET, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Bieber's questionable connection to Diddy piquing interest online as the rap mogul's indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering charges, which he denies, made headlines. Old clips of the two hanging out while Justin was underage resurfacing.
Let's just go get some girls. Let's go get some girls.
Man after my heart, that's what I'm talking about. We hit him like this, so me and you walking, we hanging out, you know, a little later on the night after the Usher concert.
There's also this old Jimmy Kimmel Live segment, adding to fan fears about what might have gone down with Diddy.
Got me a Lamborghini. It's,
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Well, apparently not.
Some things, everything ain't for everybody.
This all comes as Bieber's followers are worried for him, the singer's erratic social media posts causing concern week after week, the Beliebers asking if what he's seen behind the scenes of the industry
Punched Cassie in the stomach during a quiet dinner at a West Hollywood restaurant back in 2010, punched her in the stomach. And Usher just stayed silent. But here's the plot twist no one was ready for. Justin Bieber. Unlike Usher, Justin didn't stay quiet. Word is he was allegedly abused when he was just a kid, same age as Usher, after Diddy took him under his wing at 13, and the allegations are horrific.
Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January 2024, they settled out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this is from 2007 to 2024, 17 years. Could they have protected him? I don't know. Their CEO currently today is Deborah Ann Crew. She was a former intelligence officer in the military. Once intelligence officer, forever you're an intelligence officer. Who knows what happened? We don't know the relationship. We're not going to make any accusations. All we know is, could this have been a protection where they were at the parties and they knew things that were taking place and are like, wait, what do you want to do to us? No problem. Boom, drop the bomb. I don't know. All I'm saying is the timing is kind of strange. Maybe even they wanted to kind of be like, look, we know what's about to be dropped on this guy. We want to have nothing to do with you. We're out. Here's some money. You stay quiet. We'll pay you, but we want to get out of here. The only thing that the timing is kind of crazy is January 2024, they settle. 2 months later, remember what we're sitting there doing and minding our own business? And you hear, March of 2024, the feds are raiding Diddy's Miami home and his LA home. For what?
There's even rumored video evidence involving some of Hollywood's biggest names. And just days after this trial kicked off, Justin came out and basically confirmed it. Yes, there's stuff going on behind the scenes. And yes, it's real. That shook everyone. And let's talk about the billionaires who stayed silent. Jay-Z, Kanye E. West, both were name dropped in court. And Kanye, he's still publicly supporting Diddy.
Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time, I saw the tunnel, I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, have I gone to the wrong place? I looked up the end of a tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on, or was that Puffy? I'm effing around, but if that was Puffy, at a flaming bottle of Johnson.
Still, NBC reported that during jury selection, a list of more than 100 names was shown to prospective jurors just so they could confirm whether they knew any of them. And guess who was on that list? Kanye, Jay-Z, Michael B. Jordan, even Mike Myers. None of them are officially implicated yet, but prosecutors wanted jurors ready. That list included alleged victims too, like Cassie Ventura and Don Richard. And Diddy, he's denying everything. But here's the kicker. Sources are saying the real reason Diddy's empire collapsed was because he lost his protection. Word is he turned...
P. Diddy, why can't we get anything concrete? All we really have is the hotel hallway beat ass.
That one is in the process. At least,
I don't know.
It's gonna be but hold
months.
on. He's in jail. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of lawsuits. That one is like, we're going to find out. Yeah. Jamie Foxx just recently said that P. Diddy poisoned him.
Whoa.
And that's why he got that stroke.
I've heard that.
He talked about it on stage.
He said it?
He said it.
He got poisoned?
He said it.
He goes, I didn't have a heart attack because of the vaccine. It was Diddy shutting me up.
See if we can find that, because he said it on stage.
Diddy was poisoning people?
Bro, I think there was some crazy shit going on.
Like Cosby shit? Like drugging?
Diddy wasn't even that big.
I think
it was could do it.
There's alleged murders, a bunch of people that got pneumonia, a bunch of convenient people that died of pneumonia. Jamie Foxx addresses whether Diddy was responsible for his 2023 hospitalization while filming Netflix special. Holy shit.
Jamie Foxx has a
Netflix special.
Do they not care about at all stand-up?
Jamie Foxx is hilarious. Audience members,
yeah,
hold on,
right,
go back.
I see him at clubs all the time, working out his bits.
What is that share slot?
I only respect
Look
grinders.
at this. The audience members had varying accounts of the comedian's words. Two of them claimed that Foxx said Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, that he's the one who called the FBI on Diddy, who's currently in prison awaiting trial and sex charges.
Diddy turned on the people who'd shielded him for years, and they took him down. Remember when Diddy's deal with Diageo ended? Just 2 months later, boom, his life exploded. And now people are asking, did Diageo help take Diddy down? This trial is like watching dominoes fall, and baby, they're falling fast. When Diddy had power, his enemies just disappeared. But now, it looks like those same people are targeting him. It's like the script flipped over. And then there's Jamie Foxx. Yeah, he said it. Jamie claimed Diddy poisoned him. That wasn't a joke. And when Joe Rogan brought it up on his podcast.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings. So here's what came out of today's hearing. Number one, the government acknowledged that they offered Combs a plea deal. Combs acknowledged he has no interest in taking that. They're going to move forward with the trial. They also talked about the jury selection process, which one legal expert I spoke to said is probably the most important thing that you want to pay close attention to before the actual trial starts. And thirdly, we learned that Combs will be adding 2 new attorneys to his defense team. And just to recap, Combs, who is 55 years old, could spend the rest of his life behind bars if convicted on sex trafficking and racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted. The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to sexually exploit both women and men for decades. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges that accused him of coercing alleged victims into prolonged, drug-fueled sexual activity that he called freak-offs and threatening them into silence.
Dawn Richards has also testified against Diddy.
That just proved how deep this madness goes. Hollywood isn't just messy, it's a nightmare. And here's the legal tea. Diddy was reportedly offered a deal to confess to crimes like sex trafficking, racketeering, forced prostitution, and drug charges. They were going to go easy on him if he gave up everyone else. But now, that sweet deal is evaporating. And if Diddy goes down, he's not going alone. Jay-Z, Jakes, Usher, Clive Davis, all of them are allegedly in danger if those seized tapes from Diddy's Miami mansion are real. And baby, don't forget about Dawn Richard. She straight up said in court that Diddy not only abused her, but violently beat Cassie right in front of her.
Joined Combs' group Diddy Dirty Money after Danity Kane disbanded. While on the stand, she told jurors that she saw Combs hit Ventura with a skillet full of eggs at his Los Angeles home in 2009. Richard testified per NBC News. He came downstairs asking where his phone was, and he threw her to the ground. He attempted to kick her. She fell to the ground and went into the fetal position, literally trying to hide her head. In addition to striking Ventura with the skillet, Richard said Combs put his arm around the singer's neck and took her upstairs before she heard glass breaking. Richard added, "I was scared for her. I was scared to do anything." Richard's testimony in Combs' ongoing trial comes 8 months after she accused the rapper in a lawsuit of subjecting her to years of inhumane working conditions, which included groping, assault, and false imprisonment. The lawsuit, filed in September, obtained by E! News, stated, Mr. Combs frequently held meetings with Ms. Richard wearing only his underwear, despite Ms. Richard's protests and repeated requests for him to put on clothing. In her filing, the 41-year-old also alleged that Combs ordered her to strip down to her underwear, made demeaning remarks about her body, and entered her dressing room unannounced while she was unclothed, and touched her without her permission under the guise of showing the stylist what to do.
Like, repeatedly. At one point, at a Central Park concert, Diddy punched Cassie across the face with a closed fist. Publicly, boldly, like, he didn't care who saw. Diddy started grooming Cassie when she was just 19. He was almost 40, and once he had her, he took over her entire life. What she wore, what she ate, where she lived, who she talked to. Diddy controlled it all, and if she didn't obey, he'd allegedly beat her, take away her job, her home, her independence. And then came Gina, victim 3. She was ready to testify. She had the receipts, but now she's gone, vanished, and no one knows where she is.
If you don't think that dude groomed that young girl, took that impressionable young girl who wanted to be a star, who wanted all her dreams that she had to come true, and fed her drugs, fed her pills, fed her alcohol, and fed her mushrooms and things that she never took before, to F her mind up, and then put her in a position that she thought that what little shit that she had, that she didn't want to lose it. If you didn't think that he did something,
and did that to her, bruh, I gotta say something wrong with you.
This trial is tearing the mask off Hollywood. And baby, it is oozy under there. Behind all the glitz and glam, there's a sick underworld full of abuse, manipulation, and cover-ups. People are chewed up, used, and discarded like trash. And no one says a word until it's too late. Week by week, name by name, the Diddy trial is unraveling the darkest corners of celebrity power. Megachurch pastors, billionaire moguls, rappers, CEOs. It's not just a scandal anymore. It's a straight up reckoning. People are running, flying out of the country, pretending they were never part of Diddy's world. But the truth, it's catching up with them. So what do you think? Is this just another celebrity scapegoat getting exposed, or are we witnessing a full-blown Hollywood purge? Because baby, the list keeps growing and the secrets are no longer safe. The deeper you...
And whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now with one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs. And we've been watching that take place.
From what you know about him, Sean Combs, obviously the perception of him has changed dramatically since these allegations were made and since he got charged. I mean, from everything we're seeing now, he seems a very unpleasant, nasty, violent piece of work. Is that a correct assessment?
The assessment is going to be correct. So what I've learned is whenever you see a gentleman like this from affluence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDMA or the drug ecstasy, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to lead his view skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual deviant.
Dig into this Diddy trial, the more it starts feeling like the fall of an entire empire. This isn't just about one man's crimes anymore. It's about a web. A dark, twisted web of power, silence, and manipulation, and now that web is unraveling. Thread by rotten thread. And the people in it, oh, they're not just scared, they're fleeing. We're talking private jets, offshore properties, sudden international trips. The moment those tapes from Diddy's Miami mansion were seized, half of Hollywood booked a one-way flight to anywhere but here. And the most ironic part? These same people used to be untouchable. They ran studios, dominated the charts, built mega churches, and collected Grammys like candy. Now, they're ghosting the country, praying no one sees their names in the case files. Let's rewind for a second and talk about that list, the one the jurors were shown before trial. Over 100 names, most of them famous, all of them potentially connected. You had actors, musicians, political figures, even companies. And nobody, we mean nobody, expected to see Michael B. Jordan's name on there. Michael B. Jordan and Mike Myers? What the hell was Shrek doing near?
Now, here's Fox. Go ahead, Rob.
What jurors heard today were tales of appalling physical abuse by Sean Combs as prosecutors portrayed him as a monster who controlled people and plied them with drugs, threats, money, brandishing guns during these on-camera sexual performances that he liked to call freak-offs. And in fact, jurors were shown for the first time today that horrifying videotape. Combs brutally beating, kicking, and dragging his then-girlfriend. And then a male escort took the witness stand, and he talked about how he saw firsthand that same young woman repeatedly battered by the defendant, who then tried to bribe a hotel security guard with a stack of cash to get rid of the evidence. In opening statements, what struck me was how the defense attorney openly admitted that her client committed domestic violence, but then tried to argue, well, that's not sex trafficking for which he's charged. Technically, yes, but it is an underlying crime in the racketeering case against him, which includes kidnapping, arson, sex crimes, bribery, obstruction, all part of this alleged criminal enterprise run by Sean Combs. His attorney also admitted to the jury that her client's conduct is, quote unquote, indefensible, and that he may be a sexual deviant, but that doesn't make him a criminal, which strikes me as not a terribly great defense. Are going to be arguing, and they said this to the jury, that the alleged female victims, and there are a lot of them, are all motivated to lie out of greed because they file lawsuits against Combs for money damages. Well, that is a typical defense tactic, but it is dangerous, it is perilous. Jurors might perceive it as the lawyers re-victimizing the victims. Katie?
For Diddy's parties, the courtroom nearly gasped when those names dropped, and prosecutors, silent. No explanations, just names lingering in the air like smoke. Because that's how deep this thing goes. But the one name that's now being whispered everywhere, from courtroom corridors to industry boardrooms, is Diageo. That's right, the beverage conglomerate that used to be in business with Diddy. The timing is too convenient. Diddy loses his contract with them. 2 months later, his entire world collapses. Investigations, lawsuits, FBI raids, tape seized, victims coming forward. And now the conspiracy is that Diageo might have played a role in Diddy's fall, pulling the plug when he became too much of a liability. Or worse, when he stopped playing their game. Sounds insane? Maybe, but so did everything else in this trial, and look where we are now. And let's not forget Jamie Foxx. Oh, we're still not over that. Jamie dropped the mother of all bombs when he claimed on record that Diddy poisoned him. Yes, poisoned. And he didn't say it in some messy tabloid. He told it straight on the Joe Rogan Experience, one of the biggest platforms in the world. He knew what he was doing, and the fact that Jamie lived to tell the tale, a miracle in itself, because Hollywood doesn't like survivors, it likes silence. Now here's where it gets even darker. That plea deal Diddy allegedly got, it wasn't just about confessing to 1 or 2 crimes. No. This man was reportedly ready to admit to sex trafficking, racketeering, forced prostitution, drug charges, and in return, they were gonna go soft on him. But the twist? That deal is dead. Why? Because the feds realized what they were sitting on. If Diddy talks, he doesn't just take down his own empire, he brings the whole house down. We're talking Jay-Z, T.D. Jakes, Usher, Clive freaking Davis. If their names are on those tapes, it's game over. And then there's the violence, the kind of violence that haunts you. Don Richard took the stand and relived it all. How Diddy beat Cassie, how he assaulted her, how he traumatized every woman around him. She didn't just say it once, she gave details, places, dates, punches. The time he hit Cassie in the face at a Central Park concert with a closed fist. That's not just disturbing, it's damning. And Gene Deal, he confirmed it all. Diddy met Cassie when she was 19. He was almost 40. And from that moment on, he owned her, controlled her like a puppet, told her what to wear, who to talk to, what to eat, where to go. This wasn't a relationship, it was a prison. And if she resisted, he'd beat her, take her house, cancel her gigs. He made sure she couldn't leave. And it gets worse. Gina, the third victim, was ready to testify, ready to name names. And then she just vanished. No calls, no shows, no contact. One moment she was the trial's wild card, to the next, gone without a trace. These disappearances, these beatings, this terror. It's painting a horrifying picture of what goes on behind the closed doors of Hollywood's elite circles. People aren't just being manipulated, they're being broken. What happens when someone's no longer useful to the machine? They're discarded, silenced, or worse. This industry doesn't forgive, it doesn't forget, and it sure as hell doesn't protect victims. Now we're at a crossroads. Every week, the Diddy trial pulls another mask off, shows us the truth behind another untouchable celebrity. The facade is falling, the secrets are spilling, and the people who once laughed at the idea of conspiracy are now staring at fact. Because this is no longer speculation, this is happening. it's real. And the receipts, oh honey, they're stacking up. So the question is, who's next? Who else is going to pop up on the list? And more importantly, who's going to run? Because this isn't just the collapse of one man. It's a warning to every predator who thought they were too famous, too rich, too beloved. The world's watching now. The clock is ticking. And no matter how far they fly, the truth always lands right behind them.